What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Bleacher Report. I'm your host, TD from TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Hit that fire button, that like button on your way in the building. Miami Dolphins OTA reaction is upon us. I am going to break it all down and more, what I'm hearing, what we've all heard, all of that, okay? We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, the optimistic things, the concerning things, everything you need to know right here, okay? Again, make sure you hit that like button. Let your friends and family members know about the Bleacher Report app. Help them fill it, sign up for it. Pick their favorite sports. Bleacher Report can take care of all of those things, okay? But we are going to dive in, as you all know. The Miami Dolphins have kicked off OTAs this week, and this is voluntary. Let's make sure that first and foremost, we understand that this is a voluntary period. A lot of people like to put a lot of emphasis into this period. Why? Because they want to see, who's bought in. At least that's what a lot of people believe. The indication of which teams have perfect attendance. Is that a signal of everyone who's bought in? Where there's been some teams around the league that have reported 100% participation, everybody buying into the offseason program starting out, and the Miami Dolphins are not one of those teams. There were a few players missing, some notable ones like Zach Zeeler, and a few others, and we don't know. It could just be, hey, I'm not going to go to OTAs. I'm going to do my own personal thing, or it could be bigger issues. What I like to do is look at the players who miss typically and then say to myself, are they in a contract year? How many guarantees are on the contract? I like to look at those things to try to piece together, could there be more to why they're not here? I'm going to be breaking that all down next week. I'm going to look into that, and I'll be able to report back to you Wednesday night next week on what I found in regards to that, okay? But outside of that, I really don't look too much into it, but, I always feel like this. Even if you don't practice and you want to skip OTAs, I think it's important to be present for your team. Even if you don't practice, be there, get in the young guy's ear, try to help them out, show them where they messed up, all those type of things, at least from the leaders for sure. So that's just my personal feeling on it. And again, I know it's voluntary, so some people do not look into it with that type of emphasis. But me personally, I do. I think that, teams should have everyone present to start the offseason if you want to build something special. But the Miami Dolphins don't have that, but they do have a good significant amount of players that did show up, pretty much the whole team with the exception of a few. A surprise sighting today, Terron Armstead came out with the team, which is very interesting. It led everybody to say, hold on, is he going to come back? I have good word from a few sources. And again, you never know. But from what I've heard, that knee may need surgery. And it's not a case of him being able to come back. He's done playing. It's just a matter of is he's going to get the procedure done or not, but his playing days may officially actually really be over. I think he's there because he's fallen in love with what Miami is, what they did for him and, what he gave to them. He found a home that, hey, you never know. It could turn into a post-career and maybe coaching or something along those lines. You never know. Time will tell. Shout out to the chat. I see everybody filing in right now. A Burgos in the house said, talk about pressure. Tua, McDaniel, O-line, and defense better step up. No excuse. I definitely agree. There was an article that came out today or yesterday that said there has never been more pressure on one guy in Miami, and that is Tua Tagovailoa this year. And I agree with that. Before there was a lot of pressure on a lot of different things, but this year your quarterback has to elevate. Your quarterback cannot just go through the motions, get hurt, or don't play great football, especially when the team needs him to play at most. He has to really be special this year. And I'm going to reserve the possibility of him being special this year. I haven't been, very high on Tua over his career. I haven't been very optimistic, and rightfully so, as you can see. Look at where we are now. But at the same token, I've always opened up reserved the possibility of him just one day, just this switch hits. And I'm not talking about 2023 switch. I'm talking about 2023 plus postseason, balling out, just, oh man, doing some amazing things that shocks us all. That's what it's about. That's what I'm waiting for. And I hope he can deliver that this year, because if he doesn't, I think the Miami Dolphins finally will be at a point where they realize they have to start to plan for the future at that position, if they haven't already, but I don't think they really have. All right. But with that being said, a few tidbits from OTAs. I know yesterday they also had OTAs, and a lot of people said, they saw the interception that was thrown, and everybody's like, who threw it? Who threw it? It doesn't matter who threw it. I know a lot of people make jokes on, who it may have been or whatever it may be, but it doesn't matter. It's OTAs. Guys are getting the feel of their teammates right now. But it's good to see a young guy in the secondary making a play, because one of our biggest concerns this year is the secondary play. We're looking for two guys to step up and take over the boundaries for this team. And we absolutely have no idea who those guys are going to be. And there are several guys that are going to have a huge opportunity to make an impression in this league and become something, Storm Duck, Cam Smith, just it's a lot of guys, Kader Kohu, and so many others. But today was a little bit of a dagger. Okay. Today was a little bit of a dagger. The media was present today, so you get more detail about what happened in practice. And I got to be honest with you, I was actually concerned about today. Why was I concerned about today? Because when we do things well that we already know we do well, that's not a shocker. But when there's things we don't, that we're concerned about, and it rears its ugly head, that's a concern. What do I mean by that? There was a lot of success on getting pressure on the quarterbacks today. Chop Robinson had himself a day, and a few other guys made some plays today, winning against the offensive line. We don't want to hear that, because we want a stout O-line that's making it tough on our defense. That's just the reality. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. We do not want to hear that the D-line is getting off and making huge plays against our O-line. We can't afford that this year. It is the one area where, a lot of people talk about Mike McDaniel being on a hot seat because of team success. Tua Tagovailoa, defense. No. Mike McDaniel has to figure out the O-line. And I'm talking about consistent, great O-line play, regardless of injuries and everything. We need it. And this is the year he has to deliver. It's one thing that we were really critical about with Brian Flores, the previous coaching regime. And now it's rearing its ugly head again, where the O-line is still the issue. And we continue to talk about this unit has to be better. It has to be better. So that's the area where I don't want to hear that Chop is getting off and other guys are making plays on the defensive line. We need stout play. So when I heard that was a little disappointing. It's good to hear that Chop Robinson is getting off, because he's going to need to take a whole nother step this year. Last year, Chop Robinson was not dominant. He was solid, especially as a rookie. He was promising. That's what you want from a rookie, to show you that his trajectory is on its way up and he could be an impact player for the future. A lot of people like to say he was already an impact player. That couldn't be further from the truth. But at the end of the day, after what he did last year, it leaves you with great optimism to believe that one day he's going to be rivaled with some of the best in the league at getting at the quarterback and creating havoc in the backfield. And to hear him getting off today was another promising sign. So I'm very happy about that. I want to see Chop get into that upper echelon this year. And when I say upper echelon, I'm talking about, hey, how about 15 sacks? Some people, they'll say, well, man, why are you jumping to 15? That's a lot. Man, you either have a guy or you don't. When guys are out here putting up 20, hey, we could get 12 to 15 from Chop this year. That would be success to me. Be a game changer, be impactful getting to the quarterback. sacking them, strip sacks, fumbles, and all of that type of stuff. Because Anthony Weaver talked about it. This defense was top 10 last year, but the reason why it really wasn't felt or impact, you didn't really feel that impact as much, is because this team doesn't take the ball away. One way you could take the ball away is wreaking havoc in that backfield, forcing the quarterback to make mistakes, throw bad passes, strip fumbles, all of that type of stuff. And that's where Chop is going to have to elevate his game and really get home at the quarterback and be dominant this year. I'm looking for him to have about 0.8 sacks per game. That's almost one a game. Almost one a game. Give me 4 every 5 games. 4 every 5 games. That's what I'm looking for Chop to produce for us this year. And that would be amazing, phenomenal for us to know, hey, we hit. Yeah, ain't no shadow of a doubt. We hit on this draft pick. Chop the future. Go ahead, lock him in after year 3, Greer. Don't mess this one up. That's how I feel about that. So good to hear his name already making an impact out there. And I just hope the O-line isn't that bad to why. But we'll see. We'll see how that transforms. Another piece of it, one of the biggest pieces, I'm going to be honest with you. I think we all know the biggest concern for the Miami Dolphins as far as weakest position on the roster going into the season. I think we all can agree is going to be the cornerback position, CB. And man, oh man, I was just talking with some buddies last night about how Waddle is a number 1 receiver, and they disagree with me. They're like, yo, he's a number 2. I feel like he's a number 1. It's just his circumstance hasn't allowed him to show that. Even though with Tyreek, he's put up almost 1,500 yards with Tyreek. But for the most part, we force feed Tyreek the ball a lot, and he's taking a back seat. And I think that if he was a solo dolo guy, he would have built himself way past what he was with Flores and behind Tyreek to being a number 1 receiver. This is just my belief. And, a lot of people disagree with me. They hit me up privately. No, Waddle's a number 2. Stop it. He's not a – and maybe Waddle was listening to us last night because he went on a tear today. They say, well, it was the Waddle show on offense. He was catching everything coming his way. He was burning every corner that was on him. And Cam Smith got toasted and came up limping after a deep touchdown pass. Waddle just went off. And I know Waddle has it in him. Now, I know some people are going to say, yeah, but it was against bad corners. Man, listen, can we stop acting like Waddle can't put pressure and separation against, 95% of the corners in the NFL? I mean, we got to put some respect on Waddle's name. We got to stop this mess. I know he's taking a little bit. It's like D-Wade and LeBron. We know it was LeBron's show, but D-Wade took a little bit of a backseat. We know that. And we know D-Wade wasn't putting up 30 when it happened. It went down to what? I don't remember, like 22 to 24. We know that. But don't forget who D-Wade is. Same thing with Waddle. Waddle is that guy. It's just that the circumstances and lack of continuity with consistent quarterback play and having the same quarterback on the field, people have forgotten that this guy, and another thing, the man's been playing a little bit banged up a lot. He plays a lot banged up. Now, if you want to knock him for being banged up, that's one thing, but that skill banged up, man, we got to stop this mess. Waddle's that guy, man. And I think that this might actually be his superior breakout season. You know what? I'm going to call it right here, right now on Bleacher Report. Waddle 1,500 plus yards this year. Waddle 1,500 plus yards. I'm going to call it right now. 1,500. Over 10 touchdowns. Book it. I said it here first. Book it. We'll find out. We always track it. We'll track it. Okay? But that was beautiful to hear that he's going on a tear in camp. And I got excited. And then I immediately got sad. Because you still can't ignore the other side of the football. You still can't ignore the other side of the football. To hear that our corners are getting toasted to this degree, man, don't give us a long season. Please. Like, and I understand they say, hey, no more hand holding. We got to throw these guys out there. They got to earn their way. Maybe they're just not good enough. And one thing that I've never liked is when we say we drafted someone, so we have to give them the opportunity to play, even if we know they're not ready. I've always hated that. And that's what Miami's going to do this year. Even if they know a guy isn't ready, like Channing Tindall, Cam Smith, they're probably going to get some significant playing time. Regardless. And I don't like that. And let me be fair, though. I don't want to make this about being down on Cam Smith, but because he could very well come to camp, turn up, and like go off and like, oh man, look at this, and or in the regular season, oh, Cam Smith making plays all over the place. Yeah, it's possible. Anything's possible, but why is it everything we get as a report is just not working out? It's like it's not good news. It's not promising. Everything almost everything. We get tired of that, man. They're like, I know we spent the high draft capital, but man, why do we always struggle at the cornerback position? And some people will say, well, we struggle at every position. You know what? Let me pause right there because you're right. Why though? Why is this? Why Miami? Like, why can't we have something good and keep it for 10 years? Like, what's the last player that been on his roster for 10 years? Can somebody help me? Who was the last player that was on the Miami Dolphins roster for 10 years? Like, you usually got somebody. I don't know. I don't even remember. I have no clue. And I agree, Onaron, who's in the chat right now. He said it's the culture. Someone said Jason Taylor. If we got to go back that far, we got issues. This is the issue. Something's not adding up. Cameron Wake, you know what? It makes me want to believe it was Cam Wake, but I'm going to look it up. And I don't know why I feel like I'm going to be shocked that it's like 9 years, like he might have just missed the 10. Like, come on, man. And y'all, it's a challenge now. Now I got to pull it up. All right, here we go. Cameron Wake. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 10 years. Wow. He just made 10. 10 on the dot. 10 on the dot. Cam Wake, it reminds a 5-time Pro Bowler, a 4-time All-Pro. A 5-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, and won the Comeback Player of the Year. I wonder if Cam Wake, would anybody consider him a Hall of Famer? 100.5 sacks, 5-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, and Comeback Player of the Year once. I just wonder. He probably just misses, but Could Cam Wake make the Hall of Fame? I might have to do some research and do a stream on that one day. That's an interesting one. Cameron Wake, Hall of Fame. Man, it's like those numbers are right on the border. Those numbers are right on the border. That's tough. Wow, I just like my mind is spinning. I put myself in my own mental spin here. Mm. I think he may have missed it by one more All Pro or 12 more sacks, like one more great season. I don't know. Because the truth is, he did 11 years in the league. But if you're going to be fair, because of one, I know he got hurt in Tennessee. In his first year in Miami, he only started one game. So he actually did it all in 9 years. And when you look at that, it's way more impressive. But, and then the whole story of no postseason success, the thing that was hurting like guys like Zach Thomas for a while and stuff, Yeah, I'll revisit that. We'll talk about that at some point. That's a very interesting one. And I wonder, did the Miami Dolphins put him in a ring of honor or anything? Because I gotta go check because I don't remember. Did the Dolphins put him in the ring of honor or anything? Because I would say at least he deserves that. 5 or 6 time Pro Bowler, 4-time All Pro. Like, I think you should at least honor him in that way in Miami, right? I don't know. Time always tells. We shall see. But that's very interesting. That is very interesting. But yeah, but back to training camp, ladies and gentlemen. So it's like the things you want to hear this year from OTAs, and I'm gonna be at training camp. So and those who know that I'm gonna be at training camp, just look at the bottom of the screen. That's how you can support me at training camp. TD dollar sign TD Fans Talk training camp support. But I go every year so that I can get my own thoughts about what I'm seeing, because there's always conflicting reports. So I'll be there. But what we have to see in training camp, we have to see not great because it's training camp, working through kinks, but we need to see strong offensive line play. We need to see a very productive Jaylen Waddle. We need to see a breakout explosive run game on occasions, right? We need to see the cornerbacks making plays consistently and the safeties being in position. That's what we need to see from training camp. Those are the keys. But if we see corners getting beat on, safeties out of position, quarterbacks having a field day, D-line stuff in the run, pressure on the quarterback, but it's still making plays because the receivers are getting open, that's a disaster. That's what we'll be watching for at camp. That's what it's about. So I can't wait for training camp, which will be taking place in 2.5 months. Wait, hold on. We got June. No, we got like 8 weeks. Training camp will start in like 8 weeks. So 2 months. And in those 2 months, man, that's what we need to see. All right. But hey, McDaniel's trying to instill a new message. I'm not going to get into the Ramsey conversation because obviously they over that. They don't even want to talk about it. His days are numbered. They probably already got their trade partner just waiting to execute. And they're trying to bring a new culture to the team, which I was trying to tell y'all. McDaniel went from being a nice guy to now trying to be the accountable, tough guy. So that's why it's okay to clean house a little bit and bring a new culture. And Tyreek's playing ball. He's on the same page with all of them. And they're going to try to build that way, and we're going to see if it works. We're going to see what it does. And time always tells. So we'll know. We shall know, okay? But thank y'all so much for tuning in to Bleacher Report. Miami Dolphins OTAs reaction is in the books. Next Wednesday night, we'll give you more of what we've learned from OTAs, and maybe we retouch that Cam Wake. You know, is he a Hall of Famer, and should he at least be in the Miami Dolphins Ring of Honor? So I'll see y'all soon. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Bleacher Report, we are out. Peace. Those who watching on TD Fans Talk, I am still live. But yeah, I'm actually about to go over to the AFC East Roundtable. We're going to be talking about a few things. Not going to be too long tonight, but we got some things to discuss. But yeah, and also training camp is a little weird this year. So y'all already know what time it is. I try to give y'all all the coverage. If if I get enough support, I want to try to go to Detroit, and I want to try to go to Chicago, and obviously Jacksonville as well. I want to do wait, which one is at home? One of them's in Miami, right? I don't know which one is in Miami. Is it the Jags or which one? I think it's the Jags that's going to be in Miami, right? I gotta look it up. I gotta see which one is on the road. But two of them will be Jags in Miami. Okay, yeah. So two of them may require travel. Lions, you got Jared Goff, so we'll get a real good look at our DBs and those weapons. So I like that. I don't know what the Lions defense is going to look like because, they had a lot of injuries last year. They were good under Weaver. I don't know what the new coach brings, but I think should be a solid test. I really want to go to the Lions practice, but the Bears are the ones I really want to go to. Caleb, solid. That defense, they brought in a lot of pieces. They got an old line. I think the Bears are really going to be a really good test to tell us how good we are this year. We may be this year. So I want to go to Chicago as well if I can, and then I'll cover the Jags back home. So as always, if I get enough support for it, I'll do whatever I get the support for this year. So again, if you want to show love and support what we're doing at TD Fans Talk, I'd rather you send all donations via Cash App, okay? That way YouTube doesn't take 60%. So a lot of y'all show real love around this time of the year for training camp. So again, if you like, some people will send $50 or something like that. If you do that, what I'm trying to say to you is YouTube's going to take about 20 of it. Okay, so you're really sending 30. That's why I always encourage Cash App. Then I get the $50. All right. So if you want to support training camp, I'll remind you in every stream, the Cash App $TD Fans Talk is below. As you know, I am independent. I do this off of my own back, my own strength. I don't have, like a paper and a media to support it. So I always lean to the community, and the community always take care of it. So again, thank you in advance for those who can. Thank you to those who want to but can't. Salute to you all. Love y'all for that. Let me get over to the AFC's roundtable. Y'all come tune in. We're going to chop it up, have a little bit of fun over there, talk about these events, and then I'll catch y'all soon. Love you, love you, love you. Appreciate you all. Starting next month, we're going to actually start to get into some film. Start to look more at film on a consistent basis about some of the things that, we need to improve that we struggled in last year. And it's not just Tua. We're going to break down every play, every aspect of the game. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what. No matter what. See you soon. Peace. I'm out.